Shalom, shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach, Umarak Yahushua. Yahweh is the name of the Heavenly Father, which the world calls God, and Yahushua is the name of His only begotten Son, who the world inwardly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give a strong shalom to all the mighty men that's going out there, they're laboring. They're presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. They're doing all they can to wake up the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Not only that, they're enduring the elements, the 100-degree weathers, the freezing below codes, and everything that's trying to hinder the work of the Most High. Shalom, shalom. I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty Akwad, the sisters that are out there. They're reverencing their husbands. They're being teachers of good things. And the unmarried sisters as well, being tender, delicate, and on fire for the Most High God. Shalom. Last but not least, I want to give another strong shalom to all the mighty teenagers and children in this truth, doing all they can to make their calling and election sure in the last days, right? And by the topic of this code cut is titled, right, early morning meditation, you must do this, right? It's titled early morning meditation, you must do this, right? Because meditation is found in the scriptures, man. You must meditate on the precepts. You have to be meditating on the scriptures, the word of the Lord. Hey, it's something that was a part of our culture, our heritage. Our heritage, yes, is keeping the commandments. Yes, it's keeping the high holy days. But we have certain customs, right? Ordinances, traditions that we do with inside of our nation. Such as what? Meditation. You're going to see meditation all throughout the scriptures, man. You might be reading it in Psalms. You might say, well, hold on, what is this? Right? You might read it in Job. Right? You might read some of it in the Gospels. That's because it's something that was heavily enforced and was reckoned not only amongst the nation of Israel. You had other nations, they partook in meditation. Nevertheless, right, you must be meditating on the precepts, man. It's no option. You have certain brothers saying, well, I can meditate sometimes, right? No, brother, you can't meditate sometimes. Because the moment you're not meditating on the word, it's either meditating on folly and evil and wickedness, or you meditating and your mind is fixated on the Lord. It's no in between. It's no maybe I'll do it this day or I'll do it later on. Hey, we commanded to meditate in the Lord all the day long. That's written. Right, so let me kick it off with the book of Isaiah chapter 26. Right? Let me kick it off with the book of Isaiah chapter 26. And I'm going to start at verse, right, Salakia. Isaiah chapter 26 and verse number 2. Right, it says, open ye the gates, that the righteous nation, which keepeth the truth, may enter in. Thou wilt keep him in perfect peace. So the man that's occupied in meditation, the Lord is going to keep him in what? Perfect peace, man. You wondering why evil is happening to you all the time? Why things is always being disruptive around you? Can never get a break? Well, guess what? The Lord said he's going to keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusteth in thee. And you have to ask yourself, is your mind stayed on the Lord, man? Is it? You have to be honest with yourself, man. There's nothing wrong with, you know what I'm saying, going into a solitary place. You might go on a nature walk. You meditating upon the Lord. You go somewhere where it's not really, you might get up early in the morning, right? Hey, the Lord, he got up early in the morning to depart to a solitary place. And his mind was meditating and it was fixated on the Lord. Let's go to that in Mark chapter 1. So you might have to depart into a place where, guess what? It's quiet. You hear the birds, right? You hear the wind blowing. It's going to put a different spirit behind it. Or else you have certain brothers, they go to meditate where it's Edomites at. They go into a barbecue trying to meditate. right? You're trying to go to Six Flags. Well, brother, that's not gonna work. You're gonna have a hard time, right? Like the brother said, nature, man. There's nothing wrong with going amongst the elements, right? You don't have to just be in your room all day, 24/7, man. You just always, brother, you get outside the house, man. All right, come out, be amongst the elements, right? We're gonna get to that in Genesis chapter 24. Hey, Isaac, he was amongst the elements, man. It's a lot of things you can learn. All right, let me bring this out in Mark chapter 1. Right, this is Mark chapter 1 and verse number 35. Mark 1 and 35, it says, and in the morning, rising up a great while before the day, he went out. So Yahushua in the morning, hey, before the day started, he automatically, he got up, man, right? He got his things prepared. He said, hey, I'm finna go out to a solitary place. It says he went out and departed into a solitary place and prayed there, man, right? So the Lord, he went to a solitary place. The Lord wasn't going where it was heavy foot traffic at, man, right? Yahushua, he wasn't going freaking off into a solitary place. He went to a solitary place to pray. His mind was on the Lord, man. Hey, it might be like you. You might be like that. You might go up somewhere, get up early, go into a solitary place, pray there, meditate on the word, right? Clear your mind. Because your mind is the most important thing that you need to have clean and in order, right? You must have your mind on the Lord at all times. You must be sober-minded, clear-minded. If you got 50, 60 million things on your mind, guess what? Eventually, you're not going to be able to function, right? You're not. It's going to be impossible, right? Thinking how, man, I got to go back to school, right? Then you think about, dang, am I going to get this job? Then you think about your mom. She might be in a hospital. Then you think about your kids. You don't have any time for the Lord because your mind is not clear. So, hey, the Lord, hey, mental stability is in the Bible. Mental health is in the Bible, right? It's more than just the so-called white man bound down in the scriptures. And the nations going into captivity. You have peace in the scriptures, right? You say you have sober-minded in the scriptures. A lot of you men, your mind is jammed up, man, right? Your mind is not right. You're not able to meditate properly. You're trying to go through the precepts. It's not working. Well, brother, maybe you need to clear your mind first, right? Maybe you think you could take everything out that's polluting it, right? And it's a lot of things that could play into your meditation. Maybe you watch too much TV. That's why it's messing with it. Listen to too much music. Because what you watch, that could affect your brain, man. Next thing you know, you're meditating on that 70s show all day. Well, brother, that's because you've been watching it all day, right? That's why you're meditating on that 70s show. Trying to wonder why in your dreams, why you thinking about it. Because that's what you giving your mind over to. You have to give your mind over to the word of the Lord. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 24. Right? This Genesis chapter 24 and verse number 63. Right? This Genesis chapter 24 and 63. It reads, and Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide. So you had Isaac, right? He went to go out and meditate in the field, man. Just went in the field one day, laid down, right? Thinking about the Lord. Isaac wasn't meditating. What do you think he was meditating? Because meditation just means to think upon heavily. So you can meditate on anything, man, right? You can meditate on folly. You can meditate on wickedness. You think Isaac was meditating on playing Connect 4? No. Smash. We need to play some cards. You think Isaac was meditating on foolishness, right? How to take over the known world? No, Isaac, he was meditating on none other than the law, right? He was meditating on the Most High God. Now you can say, well, hold on, it's not in there what he was meditating. No, we know Isaac. He was a righteous man. We know our forefathers. We know what they were and they wasn't doing. So Isaac, he went out to the field, man. Reading on. And when she saw, it says, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. So sometimes you do need that meditation, all right, to clear your head. And you could find your purpose just by meditating. Going out to the field, okay, what do I have to do in this truth? What did the Most High call me to do? You praying to the Lord, right? You going through the different precepts. It's going to be beneficial. Let's go to Sirach, chapter 17, right? Because a lot of people, they not in tune with themselves. They're not in tune with the Most High. It's impossible to be in tune with the Most High if you always around somebody, man. Maybe you need to get that, you know what I'm saying, that one-on-one time with you and the Most High, right? It's gonna, if you always around distractions, worldly people, your family, it's gonna be very, very hard to really tap into your purpose. What do you have to do? The spirit. That's why a lot of people, they have anxiety, man, right? They don't know what to do. They're shaking, right? They looking around, right? All of those spirits could be appeased just by meditating in the Lord, building up that confidence, right? Getting in tune to what your purpose is, what the Lord has called you to do. Thinking, you might be thinking, man, I came a long way. You might be thinking on things you need to work on in the truth, right? Okay, you know, all right, I need to do this better. Okay, I grew in my faith. Maybe I need more patience. Okay, I grew in my patience. Maybe I need to be a little bit more humble and let go of the pride. There's many different things you could do when you're by yourself and you're meditating. Now, you don't want to take that, well, hold on, the brother said we got to be by ourselves. You always interfere. It's 3 p.m. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You just out there. You haven't washed up. You haven't been back to your house, right? Your kids is screaming because they haven't ate, because you want to just be out in the field all the time. No, you want to have a just balance, man. Pursuing a Proverbs chapter 11 and 1, right? The Lord said a false balance is abomination unto the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. So let me bring this out in Sirach, chapter 17. Right, it's Sirach 17 and 25. It says, return unto the Lord and forsake thy sins. Make thy prayer before his face and offend less. Turn again to the Most High and turn away from iniquity, right? For he will lead thee out of the darkness into the light of health, and hate thou abomination vehemently. So the Lord said, if you turn to him, he's going to lead you out of darkness into the light of health. It's many different ways you could. Healthy is not just you eating fruits and vegetables all the time. Right now you're healthy. Drinking water, right? Drinking almond milk. That's not just, you have different types of, you have physical health and you have as well mental health. So the Lord, he has the ability to lead you out of the darkness. Because when you was in this world, you was in darkness. Your mind was clouded, right? You didn't know what was going on. But guess what? You came into this truth. Your mind got a little bit better, right? Your mind cleared up a little bit. You sobered up spiritually. You found that mental health that you always probably wanted. Hey, certain brothers, they come into the truth. Hey, they'll tell you, they say, man, I never experienced this type of mental stability before. Well, guess what? That's because the Lord is going to lead you out of darkness into the light of health. That's written. So, again, you must meditate. You must do this, man. Now, it depends on you. You could do it early morning. Certain brothers, they do it early morning, right? 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, 3 in the morning. Or you might be an afternoon person, right? Evening time, you might, you know what I'm saying, go out 4, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever is convenient for your schedule. But this could be very beneficial in certain aspects of your life, especially in this truth. And you got, when you got all type of demons and folly and wickedness trying to come against you and cast you down. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 119. right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 119, and verse number 115, right? And it reads, it's like it, Psalms 118 and 15. It says, I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways. So, David said, I'm going to meditate in thy precepts, man. So, King David, he was meditating in the precepts. And as you start to meditate more and more, guess what? You're going to have to respect unto the Lord's ways. Things is going to start to connect. Things is going to make sense. You're going to develop a strong connect. The reason why you might not have a strong connection with the Most High, brother, because you don't meditate. That's why. You don't take time out. You never did. You was always just around the brethren. You never took that solitary time out like Yahushua did, like Isaac did. So David, he meditated on the precepts. He had respect unto the Lord's ways. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 119 and verse, lead us, right, 148, right? This Psalms 119 and 148. My eyes prevent the night watches, that I may meditate in thy word. So David was so in tune with meditation. He said, hey, sometimes, man, I can't even sleep. My eyes prevent the night watches. I'm waking up, right? It might be 12 o'clock at night. You just can't sleep. Guess what? David said, I'm getting up. I'm meditating on the word. And the more you start to meditate, the more you're going to start to find the precepts. They're going to light up. They're going to light up more often, right? For some brothers, the precepts only light up maybe one time a day. Imagine that. You go through your whole day, you only think about a precept might come in here one time. But the more you meditate, more precepts start to pop up in your head, man. Going through the whole day, now it went from 1 to now about 30 times. You have 30 different precepts popping up in your head. They just gonna pop up like ding. You're gonna be driving to work. They're gonna be ding. Might go to the store. They're gonna be like ding. Why? Because that's what you've been looking at. That's what you've been occupied in the most. So David, guess what? He was doing this thing day and night as commanded. Let's go to the classic, Psalms chapter 1 and verse 2. Right, this Psalms chapter 1 and verse 2. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. And that's what you have to ask yourself. Because again, you could meditate maybe one time out the week, right? You could meditate maybe, one time a day. You just do it in the morning time. That's it. No, you have to meditate day and night, right? It says, and he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf also shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. You see that? So you're going to be like a tree. Men are referred to as trees in the Bible. Now a tree that's planted by rivers of living water, that tree is going to flourish. It's going to be strong by the roots, right? It's going to have a nice base to it. It's going to have good green leaves to it. But a tree that's planted by dryness and thorns, that tree's going to be falling over, fading away, right? The wind blow upon it. It's not really strong. Don't even have strong roots. So men are referred to as trees. So if you're meditating in the word day and night, guess what? The Lord said you're like a tree planted by rivers of living water, right? And whatever you do is gonna prosper. Imagine that, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 77. Right? Let's go to Psalms, chapter 77, and verse number 12. Right? Psalm 77 and I'm gonna start at verse 11. It reads, I will remember the works of the Lord, Surely I will remember thy wonders of old. I will meditate also of thy work and talk of thy doings. So you can meditate in the work of the Lord, looking at the trees. Might go to the zoo, you looking at the animals, right? There's many different things you can meditate on. Meditate on how to be a better brother in his truth, right? Meditating on how to take care of the nation. Things you could do to make your body a living sacrifice. And you might be you got certain brothers, hey, they meditate on them dying for the Lord. That's all. Sometimes that's all they meditate. They making scenarios in their head. Okay, hey, hey, this might happen. I might die for the Lord. This man. They just thinking about it. So David said, "What? I will meditate also of thy work and talk of thy doings, man." Right. So they was on fire when it came to meditation. Let's go to Psalms chapter 63. Right. Psalm 63 and verse number 6. And it reads, when I remember thee upon my bed and meditate on thee in the night watches, because thou hast been my help, therefore in the shadow of thy wings will I rejoice. So David is showing you instances where he's meditating day and night, man. Right? It says, when I remember thee upon my bed. A lot of brothers, you just want to go to sleep. Right? Even though it's nothing wrong with going to sleep, but you just crash. Hey, David said, hey, even when I'm in the bed, I'm thinking about you, Lord. I'm thinking about the precept. I'm thinking about the book of Joshua. I'm thinking about Deuteronomy. Right? I'm thinking about the commandments. How can I maintain to get the kingdom? How can I boost my faith? You know, with Jake, sometimes he might just be sitting back and you might just be looking at your ceiling, man, in your room, thinking. But guess what? David said he was doing that, but he was thinking about the Lord, man. So David was in tune with the meditation, man. And we see why the Lord caused David to prosper upon his throne, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, right? Chapter 37. Right? Let's go to Psalms chapter 37 and verse number 30. And it reads, the mouth of the righteous speaketh wisdom, and his tongue talketh of judgment. The law of God is in his heart. None of his steps shall slide. So when you're meditating on the word all of the time, on a deeper level, hey, the law of God is in your heart, man. So if the law is always in your mind, your heart, which is your mind, guess what? It's going to be very hard for you to slide. Because when temptation does come to you, right? When spirits do try to attack you, they can't really, because you have the precepts as a defense. You have something that's blocking it. Because every single day, a lot of brothers, they think that these demons want their money, man. Man, these demons keep attacking me. They must want my money, right? These demons, man, they attacking me in my sleep, man. They must want my beard follicles, right? No, these demons, they want your mind, man. That's what they want. They want your mind. If they could take over your mind, they have taken over the body, because the mind controls the body. They're not looking to take your foot off, man, or to take the food out your refrigerator. These demons are trying to solely take your mind. How do they try to take your mind? Through these different spirits. It's many different ways they could try to take your mind. But if you don't have the precepts to block it, which comes through meditation, hey, these demons, they gonna have a field day, man. Next thing you know, you're gonna be doing things that's not really convenient. The Lord gonna give you over to a reprobate mind, just because you didn't want to meditate in the precepts, right? All because you didn't want to meditate in the precepts of the Most High God. Let me get this quick precept in Ecclesiastes. So you have to have what? These precepts as a defense. A wisdom, she's a defense, right? Right? That's a mighty precept the brother Aina Shalom King put in the chat. Are we gonna grab that next? This Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse number 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. So it says a wisdom is a defense. So wisdom, she's going to defend you when you have spirits trying to infiltrate you. When you have spirits trying to take you out. When spirits are trying to take your mind captive. Right? Like the spirits took Legion. They got hold of him. Right? Let's go to that in Mark chapter 5. Right? This Mark chapter 5 and verse number 2. And when he was come out of the ship, immediately there met him out of the tombs a man with an unclean spirit, who had his dwelling amongst the tombs, and no man could bind him, no, not with chains, because that he had been often bound with fetters and chains, and the chains had been plucked asunder by him, and the fetters broken in pieces, neither could any man tame him. So this man, he was met with an unclean spirit. What is an unclean spirit? That's synonymous with a demon, right? And guess what? It turned this man out. These spirits could turn you out. Don't think they could turn you out. We've seen people not come back all because of an unclean spirit. Eve, she used to be righteous. She used to be solid, pure, innocent. She got met with an unclean spirit. Next thing you know, she dyed her whole hair green. And she wear those dark eyelashes, right? And she wear those black high heel boots. And she's just out here, man. She's turned out. So guess what? An unclean spirit met this man. And this man, he got turned out. He was amongst the tombs, right? Couldn't bind him, probably foaming at the mouth, right? Men trying to bind him up. They couldn't tame this man, right? Verse 5. And always, night and day, he was in the mountains and in the tombs crying and cutting himself with stones. So this man was cutting himself, bleeding out, probably licking the blood, right? Jumping down to verse 9, it says, and he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. So this man's name was Legion because you had many devils on this man. I don't know, a legion, going to the Roman Empire, a legion could be up to 12,000 demons. Right? But when you go into it, this man had about 9,000 demons on him. Right? Jumping down to verse 15, that's the point. And they come to Jesus, and they see him that was possessed with the devil, and had the legion sitting, and clothed, and in its right mind, and they were afraid. So when the Lord cast this spirit out of Legion, guess what? Legion, he went back to his normal self. He was in his right mind. So it shows you when these demons, when they on you, you're not in your right mind. That's why you do things. You're not yourself anymore. Right? Just like they got that commercial with the sneakers, right? You're not yourself when you don't eat the sneakers. Next you know, you eat the sneakers. Now you cool. Hey, that's how it is with this word. If you don't have meditation, don't have the precepts, right? Guess what? You're not going to be in your right mind. And when you're not in your right mind, again, you're not yourself. You're only your true self. And I was meditating on this earlier. You're only your true self when you come back to the Lord. Because on a physical level, right? Right? On a physical level, hey, guess what, man? When you think about it, when you in America, you have a slave. When you in this, before you came into this truth, your name was probably Eugene. You really believed when you were Eugene Williams, right? You got certain brothers named Eugene Williams, and you really believe that. You really thought you was Eugene Williams. You didn't even know that you might be Nahum the prophet back on the earth. Only way you're gonna know that you're possibly Nahum or one of the men of the Bible is if you come back to the Lord. Or else you're gonna always be thinking, I'm Eugene Williams and I have to get my associate's degree. But guess what? The Lord is not dealing with that because you're not your true self, right? You got certain men, they really think they love D-ski, right? See that? You got certain men, they think they love D-ski, man. Lil D-ski, he think he has to trap, get money. But Lil D-ski would never know that he probably would be a teacher if he came into the truth, right? So even when you don't have this truth, when you have demons on you, not only are you not in your right mind, right? But you're not yourself, right? You're not yourself anymore. All right. So let me go to the book of Proverbs. All right, let's go to the book of Proverbs, chapter 16. Right, this Proverbs, chapter 16 and verse number 3. Commit thy works unto the Lord, and thy thoughts shall be established. Right? So the Lord said, hey, when you commit your works unto him, he's going to establish your thoughts. You wander around, you're out of your mind, right? You can't really think straight. Well, that's because maybe you're not committing your works unto the Most High God. Maybe your works is in something else, right? Maybe your works is in foolishness, man. But once you commit your works unto the Lord is going to establish every single one of your thoughts. Every single one of your thoughts is going to be in order. Every single one of your thoughts is going to be in righteousness, right? And there's no, for you, brother, certain brothers, you experienced it. Certain sisters, you know what I'm talking about. One of the best feelings ever is when you meditating upon the Lord 24/7. That's one of the best feelings ever, right? It's better than smoking weed. Feel better than getting drunk, right? It feels better than being occupied in foolishness, right? That's one of the best feelings is when you're meditating in the Lord day and night, right? Let's go to the book of Sirach, chapter 6. Right, this Sirach, chapter 6, and verse number 37. Right, Sirach 6 and 37. It says, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, and meditate continually in his commandments. He shall establish thy heart, and give thee wisdom at thy own desire. So it says, let thy mind be upon the ordinances of the Lord, man. Right? And meditate continually, not sometimes, right? Not when you want to, not when you feel like it. And the Lord said, meditate continually. And he's going to establish your heart and give you wisdom at thy own desire. Certain men, they can access wisdom like this, right? They can access wisdom when they want to. Other men, they got to wait, man. All right? Certain men, they gotta wait a year to access wisdom, right? Certain men, they gotta wait 2 years. They gotta be tried all over again. But the man that's meditating continually, he's already in it, so he can access wisdom whenever he wants to. But if you're not meditating, if you're taking days off, if you're being slothful, when you try to get back into it, it's gonna be that much harder. Might go 5 days without meditating, then you try, okay, I need to get myself together. Try to get back in it. It's gonna be a little tough, right? You're gonna say, man, I don't feel the same. What am I doing? I'm trying, but it's not really working. That's because you're not consistent. You're not in there consistently. One thing you have to be is you have to be consistency goes a long way in anything. Nevertheless, you want to be consistent. Let's go to Sirach, right? Chapter 39 and verse number 1. Right? Sirach chapter 39 and verse number 1. And it reads, but he that giveth his mind to the law of the Most High, and he's occupied in the meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancients and be occupied in the prophecies. So a man, because you could tell somebody that's who has given a mind to the law, and you could tell somebody that hasn't given a mind to the law. A man that has gave his mind to the law of the Lord, guess what? He gonna be occupied in the prophecies, right? He's gonna be seeking out the ancients. He's gonna be saying, okay, what's the breakdown in Daniel chapter 9, right? What's the breakdown? Okay, how do we survive the end of the world? Like, how do we know when is Christ returning? How do we know these different things? That's what he's gonna be thinking about. And he's gonna seek that out. Okay, man, what do I need to do to be well-pleasing in the eyes of the Lord? Right? Why? Because he gave his mind over into the law. Now, a man that ain't give his mind over to the law, he's gonna be saying, man, you see those new shoes that just came out? Man, I'm gonna need those, right? Man, I need me a $10,000 chain. So all you meditating is on a $10,000 chain, right? Guess what? You see whose mind is given to the Lord in meditation, and you see whose mind is given to this world and the vanity of it on a deeper level, because none of those things is gonna benefit you spiritually, right? So with that, Lord willing, this video was edifying. Right, we closing up soon. Right, giving all honor and praise to the Most High, Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, Kumadak Yahushua. Again, Lord willing, this video is edifying. Continue to read, pray, fast, study, beseech the Heavenly Father for His mercy. With that, I'm gonna say Shalom.